Our next speaker is Marang Marekimane. I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it. She's with us in the building. She's a former project and process management consultant in the financial services sector, now focusing on how to scale, go to the next level, how to help entrepreneurs get to the next level. She started as a business process mechanics in the year 2014, assisting entrepreneurs to buy back their time and sanity by automating business processes. Part of her services include documenting business processes, which help small businesses to train their staff and improve their efficiency and productivity. She is, in my eyes, an expert when it comes to processes and sales. There's a lot we can learn from her. Ladies and gentlemen, she's with us in the building, this lovely, beautiful lady. Please, let's put our hands together. Let's show some love. Show some love. Show some love. Show some love. Let's put our hands together for Marang Marekimane. Over to you, Powerhouse.
Thank you, Sbu. I now know, I think from doing these sessions, I think I must just call you each time I need a pep talk, and you can just reintroduce me to myself and then excite me all over again. But thank you very much. Dumelang kaofela sanbonani, good morning. I hope you're all well, but I'm sure from the activities that we've done so far, energy, so I'm going to assume you are well, because otherwise you wouldn't have the energy to even do any of that, right? Sorry, I'm going to try and scroll here. I'm not sure who's controlling the presentation, but if you can move on to the next slide. So as Boo said, I'm a former project management consultant. I used to work for the bank. I'm not sure what's showing, because your intro. It's my intro, okay, perfect. So I used to work for banks and insurance companies as a process and management consultant. I do indicate there I've had plenty of unsuccessful failures, and that's a story for another day. So I've attempted businesses, different types of businesses, before I started business process mechanics. But one of the key things that I learned from my failed attempts is that I never put myself in a position where I saw myself as a salesperson at all. I saw myself as a very functional being that could do the work that needed to be done, but I didn't see myself as a salesperson. And it was almost easy to even neglect that part, because when business comes from referrals, that is family and friends, and you're making the sales, you almost believe like, this is a business, this is going somewhere. And you almost don't have to sell, because the people that know what you do can then just refer business your way. The problem with that is that you don't grow your sales fast enough. You don't get to actually scale your things, because really your friends and family can only buy from you so much. And most of the time, wait till I'll support, right? That kind of thing. Now with the services I provide, it's not everybody that can go, I just need my processes done. I actually have to do the work to sell the business, to sell my services, and have to get the sales come in. You can move to the next slide, please. Along my way, I met, it's an old man. For the life of me, I can't remember his name. But he was an old man that I met in a networking event much like this. And he said to me that you do business at the level of your confidence. Right? What Spu was saying earlier is actually quite true. It's very difficult for you to get them up, babies. Simple as that. If you're not going to sell your business, if you don't know how to pitch your business, you're not going to get the sales coming in, right? And that all has to do with confidence. If we're being honest with yourselves, why you're not selling has to do with some level of doubt that you have in the business. You're either doubting your marketing, you're either doubting the products that you're offering, you're either doubting your capabilities because, what if I get a big order? Am I even going to be able to deliver on this order? Those kind of doubts is what prevents us from actually selling as aggressively as we should be selling in order to get the sales that we need in our businesses. Next slide, please. So when you can approach the likes of a net bank or any investor or anyone really that then is going to assess the confidence factor of your business, this is what they're going to look for. Do you have a product that is relevant to market? Is it selling? Are people asking for it? Do they know about it? How quickly does it sell? How many units are you selling each month? Is it a quality product? The next thing they want to assess is your capabilities to deliver. So if I order from you, I want confidence that you will be able to deliver this product or service. I want confidence in the product that it is going to do what you promised that it would do. And if it doesn't do that, I'm not coming back as a customer. And if it doesn't do that, I can't invest in you because you won't have a customer base, right? And the third thing that is then looked at as a business confidence factor is your financial capabilities. So the volume of sales will translate not just in units, but in actual rand value. We are looking at your capabilities to even use what you have to create more wealth. Can you raise your own capital? Or are you solely dependent on external capital? Do you understand what it means to do that? And I promise you, the more you work on getting your product right, making sure you can deliver right, and actually understanding that you've priced the product correctly in order for you to be profitable, in order for you to use those profits to then reinvest in yourself to scale, the easier it is to then sell. Because you confidently are going to say, my product does X. And it is validated by the mere fact that you have this volume of customers and they are all saying, you know what, I bought it and it absolutely does what she said it does. Next slide, please. In order for us to then take all of these plans, so if today you're sitting and you're saying, well, you know, I'm not so confident with my product, how do I then improve the the quality of my product? If I'm not confident in my ability to sell, how do I then improve that? You need to then take that opportunity to say, here's the gap, and here's the work that I need to do, and then plan it out. A lot of us have got a lot of ambitions. I've got a plan to one day grow my business. But what's your action plan around that? What are you doing actively every single day to put you closer towards that particular plan? How is your administration even in your business? I know we hate the admin part, but how is that admin part even supporting you doing the sales? Are you doing the admin because it just has to be done, Nje? But are you doing it and having an understanding as to how it is that your customers are keep coming back? How are they buying? How do they prefer to buy? Use that information to then understand your customers and your market better. And I'll explain all of this, how to do it in more detail. Also, it's important to then track your progress. So you may have a plan that I want to grow my business. And when I ask you, what does it mean? I want to understand from you, I want to grow my sales by X amount. I want to do marketing so that we can reach this particular market area. So I want to move from selling in Khayelitsha and actually sell throughout Cape Town, and then one day throughout the province, and then one day in Johannesburg. Break down those plans into ways that you can then measure that progress. By when? By when do you want to reach that goal? Right? And how are you going to measure that success factor? So if I say I want to be rich, what does it mean? I need to be able to say I want X amount in my bank account, and that for me is going to qualify rich. If it isn't specific, you're not going to see it. You're not even going to feel it when it happens to you because it's just something that is out there in the air for you. Then it's important to put together the teams and to manage your own productivity. And it's hard when we're small or when you're a one-man band to then say, where am I going to find the team? And we'll talk about how you can then find the team around it. And Spool alluded to it earlier when we were talking about networking. The people that you meet here are potentially people that can be part of your team, even if you don't employ them. Right? Because you can collaborate with them and they can deliver one piece of work and you can do the other bit of work. Right? So don't be so fixated if you can't employ people. But look at the opportunities to collaborate with people, to swap services, and we'll talk, like I said, we'll talk deeper into that. And the last part is, as you're doing all of this work, find the opportunities to improve. So use the information that you get from your customers to then say, okay, this is why they are buying. I need to then change my marketing to speak to that. So if people keep saying to you, oh, your product is so lovely, it makes my skin feel so beautiful when I apply the lotion onto my body, use that as part of your marketing next time, instead of telling people, buy my lotion for 5.50 Rand, rather just say, buy the lotion for 5.50 Rand, it makes your skin beautiful. Such as our previous customer who has said this. That validates why people have come back for you, right? May I have the next slide, please? So let's do the work. First, I need you to think about the targets that you want to set for your business. And because we're doing a sales exercise, specifically a sales target. Next slide, please. This is how I want you to write your sales target. So I want to increase my sales by X by December 2022. And I specifically wrote 31st December. So don't come at me on the 1st of December. Come at me at the end of December to see if I've actually reached my goal. And I was specific about how much I want to increase my goal, my sales, right? Whether you put it as a rand amount or as a percentage, it's up to you. What's important here is also that whoever you're working with to achieve your sales goal, they understand this goal. Everybody must know, as a team, we are working towards that goal. What it is we're selling and how we're going to reach that particular part. Next slide. How you make sure you understand, you reach that particular goal is by you understanding the value proposition that you're offering your customer. So this is an example of what they call an empathy map. On one side, you'll see that it speaks to your customer profile, and on the other side, it speaks to the value proposition. So if I were to use you as an audience, as a customer profile, there are certain things that made you come to this event, right? You may have seen the flyer on social media, and you thought, join us for tea, who's this? What are they about? You may then started scrolling through their social media again to see, oh, okay, this is a bit regular, this thing. They do it a bit often. And then while you are at it, you saw, oh, wait, they have a pitch contest. This sounds a bit like an opportunity that I could exercise. Oh, wait, they have speakers there that speak about certain skills that I might need as a business. That's something I need. Oh, okay, right. There's other people that are coming then. It's all entrepreneurs. I could network with these people, right? Those are things that are influencing you. These are things, as a customer, you're already thinking about these things. Your customers do the exact same thing when they're looking at your marketing, when they're looking at your product. There's a thought process. The thing that then makes them jump, same way that you had to then say, okay, I'm registering, is because they understand how their needs are going to be met. So you understand, as an entrepreneur, I need the skills, I want to have network opportunities. I even have an opportunity to win 50,000 Rand. That's a space I want to be in, and that's why you clicked register. It would have been buy if the tickets were available, but because it's free, you had to click register. On the other hand, T has had to understand what it is entrepreneurs need. And understanding that in a township, it is very difficult to get information, to get the resources that you need, to even get somebody just saying, hey, now you 50,000. Right? It's very difficult. Some of us don't even know where to go when we need this kind of stuff. People will say, no, Google it. Sometimes I'm just confused with what is happening at Google. I actually want to speak to somebody and get the answers from somebody. In understanding that, T puts together an event like this and say, hey, let me solve the problem for entrepreneurs. And that's what you see on the value proposition side. So if you do this exercise with your customers as well, just ask them, why do you buy from us? Is it the price that attracts you? Is it the product itself? Is it the packaging? Is it our marketing? What is it that attracted you to come to us? And don't be afraid to ask it. I know sometimes we get so excited about, oh, you just move on, right? And it's just like, oh, a sale today means I can eat for the rest of the month. Don't get distracted by that. Focus back on, but why are you buying this? What excited you to get this? And the more you understand, the more you can then find more of those kind of customers. May I have the next slide, please? When you've got your product, you also need to look at how many ways you can sell that product. There is more than one way to be selling your products. Be creative, be adventurous. Look at what else is selling in your industry. How else are people selling in your industry? What is a complementary product to the product that you are selling? Match it. Think of, explore it. Speak to other people and just say, hey, if you had this product in your hands, how would you sell it? Because sometimes when you're not invested in the trouble, you actually are more creative about it, and that's where the suggestions would come in from other people. Even asking your customers are fantastic. Because when you ask them the question, so when you came and you bought this thing, what kind of struggles did you have in accessing this product? You know what, if this thing was sold with something like this, it would make my life so much easier. Then you know you can put that as a complimentary packaging. Netbank banner is falling. Can it not fly away? Thank you. Next slide, please. So these are just some of the ways you can sell your different products, right? For me, remember earlier I was speaking about the confidence thing and how I'm not a salesperson? Believe it or not, I still don't think I'm very much of a salesperson. But what I do very well is I do public speaking, and I'm quite comfortable public speaking. But I found a way to use that to then drive sales. So I choose where I'm speaking so that I'm in the right audience to either find customers, to find investors, to find business partners, right? Blogs. Are any of you bloggers? People, if you're writing stuff like blogs, it's a great way to inform your customers. Some of us are more creative than we are practical in terms of the work that we do. You know, we're not great at the selling, but we can write really great research papers. We can write really great motivational pieces, personal blogging. Use that talent to actually blog about the product and services that you're selling. It informs your customers. In your blogs, you can put in links that direct the customer back to buying your product. So after you've written this blog about how great the product is, the benefits of the product and whatever, add a button there that says buy now, and it will direct the person to go and buy, right? Academic papers. Websites are quite common in terms of selling. YouTube channels, we've seen a great number of YouTube channels that have grown, especially in the past 2 to 3 years. Social media has grown. What I do want you to do, though, is that when you're posting all of this stuff, it's not for the likes. Yes, you want people to like the content that you put out there, but what you want most importantly is for them to make comments about what they are seeing so that you can use that feedback. If you have the option, put a buy now button. Not all social media platforms have that buy now button, but like the Facebooks, Instagram, you can buy. Create that as your shopping platform so that people don't have to ask you a question, where do I get it? If it's the easily accessible the product is, the easier the customer will then jump onto it and buy once they've made that particular decision, right? And I'm going to show you now also how to look at your analytics so that you can understand where that engagement is coming from, who the customer is, because that has an influence as to where you can then sell and how you are then selling. Events like this. Earlier when we were listening to the pitches, it actually bothered me how many people missed the mark to say, you know, this is how I'm different. This is what I need the money for. I don't know if the other judges picked it up, but nobody actually said, I need 50,000 rand to do X, Y, Z, and it is actually going to cost me 39,000 rand, and little change, I'm going to reinvest it. Nobody said anything along those lines. So when you're using any of these platforms, please be intentional about the outcome that you want to achieve when you're using these things. And track it, right? So link it to some sort of a feedback loop. If you're selling on social media, go count your sales on social media. If you're just using social media for marketing purposes, go look at the comments that people are saying about it. And if it's just likes, ask people, hey, I saw you liked my product. What did you like about it? Right? So solicit that comment and not just living off of the likes. Books. Again, if you're a great writer, please compile the book, sell the book, attract that to, make that come back to your service. Next slide, please. Then make sure you find the resources in order for you to implement any of these sales channels, right? And by finding the resources, if you don't have resources, what I used to do in around 2014, 2015, when I didn't have all the resources that I need, I used to do trade swaps. So I needed marketing done, I needed like corporate profiles, logos, and all of that stuff done. I swapped somebody the service. I said, look, I will map your processes and you do a logo for me. We invoice each other so that we can see it in our accounting there, but in reality, we didn't have to pay each other because we just swapped the service. It made things a lot easier for me to get by because I didn't have the finances to do some of the things that I needed to do. And a lot of times, I didn't even have the platform. I didn't have an audience. I don't have an audience like this. But I know that collaborating with Join Us for Tea, I have an audience like this. Right? So I would even offer my public speaking services to events and just say, listen, I just need your audience. You don't have to pay me anything. But when I'm with that audience, I know how I'm going to then present in such a way that I'm getting feedback, one. But two, somebody's calling me up to say, hey, about those services that you offer, I heard you say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can I also get it? That's the opportunity that I was gaining for. Can I have the next slide, please? Earlier, I spoke about how it's important for you to measure and review your progress. Do this weekly, do this monthly. So just because we set a goal that is 3 months away, please don't only wake up in December to say, how far am I, right? This week already, when you plan for your sales, you must say, okay, I'm going to do X amount of sales in order to get me closer to my December goal. At the end of the week, how have you done with this week's goal? What do you need to readjust? Do you need to change your marketing? What worked, what didn't work? Do you need to readjust the target completely? Because sometimes while we're working, we realize, oh, maybe I was too ambitious there and maybe a little bit unrealistic. And now it's time to come down to earth and be a little bit more realistic about what is happening. We saw even when COVID and the lockdowns happened, you are planning one way and then all of a sudden you have to shift because something external from your business has happened, right? And that's why you have to keep doing those reviews on a weekly basis. May I have the next slide? So if you have a website, if you have a social media page, there's what they call analytics. And even on Facebook, like if you go onto your profile and you click on the analytics of your Facebook page, if you go on your Instagram, if you go onto your website itself and you right click and you look at Google Analytics, it will show you something similar to what you're seeing on screen. What I've highlighted on the red block there shows you information about the people that are visiting your website. Where are they based? How long did they spend on your website? What did they do when they were on your website? How many pages did they click through? And I'll tell you this, if they're only clicking on one page, your site is boring, right? But if they keep digging and digging deeper, it means they want to know more about your website. They want to know about the product and services that you're offering. They want to see what else you've written onto your website. They want to explore more about different products and services. If they're spending less than 30 seconds, one page, shut down, they got bored, they're not interested. If you're starting to see that, yes, I'm based in Khayelitsha, but a lot of my traffic is coming from people that are based in Germany and whatever. The next time you do your Facebook ad, target Germany as an audience. Drive that traffic because clearly they're interested. Get more of that audience to be coming your way. You can see things like even the age dynamics of people that are visiting. And you might be wondering, how do they know this? You know when you visit a page and they ask you about the cookies, do you accepting cookies? That's Google just basically tracking your activity. We can see all of these kind of dynamics for you. Like a person can even drill down and see what other sites you are visiting pretty much to tell you what your other interests are. So if you know that you're selling, for example, books, but a large audience, most of your audience likes to go to wine farms and they like going to hikes and whatever, go set up a bookstore at your wine farm, at the hike there, right? And get them interested into buying the book. That's what the analytics then informs you. It can tell you things even about the transactions. You know, if you're getting a lot of your audience that is looking at stuff online, but they're still calling you to then transact with you via face-to-face and not online, then it means that either they're not trusting the sales process that is happening online. Figure out why they're not trusting it. Is it because you're asking them to save their credit card details over there, or can they just do PIN payments, which is, you know, less scary because I don't have to share my entire credit card details on it. I just have to do the PIN to verify. So understanding all of those kind of behaviors about your customer is what makes it easier for you to then go sell. Then you don't waste so much time speaking to the wrong audience. May I have the next slide, please? If you run a website or an e-commerce site, you might see a similar page to this, like a reporting dashboard. This is a great benefit to actually having an online store, because then you can look at who even in your sales team is selling the most. You know, you can look at the turnaround times of your products. So from the time somebody orders to the time that we deliver, how long does it take? And if you know that it takes 7 days, guess what? You can communicate to your customers to say, we deliver within 7 days. As a promise, as a guarantee that the person is going to get it in 7 days, right? When you look at apps like, say, Take-A-Lot and whatever, the reason that they can tell you this shipping is going to happen in 7 days, and then, I mean, Take-A-Lot is brilliant when it does this because, and I'm not trying to promote them in any way, but they're brilliant in that they will tell you the product will come in 7 days. Come day 5, they're telling you it's shipping. And they even have the little emojis there. So to get you excited, and then day 6, it's at your door, you're like, oh, Take-A-Lot 1 day early. Guess what? I'm going to keep going to buy there because, yes, they say 7 days, but it's like a day 6. Right? Little things excite people. But when then you look at your dashboard, what's great with what a lot of e-commerce platforms are doing now is that they can also do encouragements. So you can reward, like attach this to some sort of a loyalty program or a rewards program within your team. So when you start seeing these kind of things, and people like to be acknowledged for the work that they do. So if you're acknowledging your sales team, then it's fantastic because they can keep producing the sales. But what's also nice is a lot of them now have got what they call affiliate marketing. Why I like affiliate marketing is because you can then use, instead of using influencers and stuff, you can ask people that, hey, do you want to be a reseller for my products? And you can put them on as a team. And when they do resales for you, you can also then track them internally in terms of the sales that they produce. And then you can pay off their commissions in the same way that you would do for your internal teams, right? That's the easiest way, perhaps, to even get people on your side in terms of pushing your brand, pushing your product out into the market. Offering people to becoming resellers for your product. May I have the next slide? So why all of this matters is that it helps you make important decisions about your business. When you've got the information and you're not guessing, you are actually applying something that you know for sure. So if I know my customers like my product, I'm not trying to guess about it. I know, and I know I'm going to get the resales from this particular audience. It also gives you opportunities to then improve. As you keep reassessing what's not working, you can then fix it. It also then gives you a pathway to scaling. Because if you know that if we're doing X amount of products in 1 month, and we are selling all of that stock before the end of the month, how do I then I then obviously need to increase the number of products that I'm making to then last me for the rest of the month. When you're speaking to potential investors, you're then also able to provide them with the data that says, here's my track record. Not ish kinahana ke rekisa tse 10 ka kgwedi. You are giving them particular stats at this price. You can then also assess whether your pricing is right for that particular product. They can then say, well, it's worth investing or not investing. When you have a repeatable process, you can teach your team that repeatable process. They literally can learn the sales pitch over and over again if you know it's a winning sales pitch. And they will come back with the customers over and over again. You don't have to recreate anything. Next slide. It's also important that when you're using your tools for selling, so if you're selling on more than one platform, try and find ways to consolidate all of that information. It reduces your admin for doing this stuff. I like to use stuff called Zapier, and there's one called If This Then That. So simple things like, for instance, somebody follows you on Twitter. Or let me put it on Facebook. So somebody on Facebook goes and comments on your page or on a post that you've put out there. You can also then put in an auto reply that then says, if anyone makes a comment about how much, then you can put an auto reply that says, here's the price. So that each time the comment comes through, you don't have to keep sitting there and typing. So you have automated messages, right? Almost like having a chat bot that then sits onto your service. That way you spend less time having to answer all of these questions on the side because it's pre-done. WhatsApp has also got it now, WhatsApp for Business. You can do auto replies that you can then set up there. Using all of this stuff, it's also important to create a database of that customer. There's a tool called, and I'll share some tools with you, some more tools just now. But there's a tool called HubSpot that I like quite a lot that does your CRM, so your customer relationship management. Each time somebody is like on Twitter or on Facebook or they connect with me via email, it already puts them and their email addresses into HubSpot. And then I can either do newsletters from there. So I'm going to farm within the database that I have of customers. It can put customers into profiles, so you can say, okay, this person is an individual customer, or this one is a corporate customer. And that helps you manage through that database. Can I have the next slide so we can talk about some of the apps and tools that can help you do your sales? So this is a whole list of tools. It is not the only list of tools that you can find out there. And in this list of tools, if you go to a site called, I'm going to forget it. Okay, I'm going to try and remember what that site is called. But you can actually look for the alternative. So look for a competitor product to whatever I've put on display there. And that helps you just see and find the tools that you feel comfortable using, because we're not all comfortable using the same kind of tools, or we have different types of preferences. Specifically for marketing, there's stuff that I put there around Hootsuite, Canva. Those two tools can help you schedule your social media posts so that you're not sitting every single day compiling a post. Yo, what am I writing today? What am I going to post today? So when you've got your sales plan and you say, this is who I need to sell to, these are the kind of products I want to move for that particular month, you can create a schedule that then says, okay, every single Friday at 2 o'clock, post this post about this product. And you can write the words in it. Come Friday, it will post. And then you are just reacting to all of that stuff. And the more, the more prepared you are, the more scheduled the content is, the easier it is to also then track what's working and what's not working. Another tool that I quite like is one called Proposify. How many of you are tired of writing business proposals over and over again and you have to recreate it, right? So Proposify is a good tool for that. You write your proposal there. You can put it even as a template. And then you can say, okay, for corporate, I want this section of the proposal, that section of the proposal. Am I speaking to a smaller business or an individual? I can put in different sets of the proposal into there. And it creates that database for you. My thing with proposals is sometimes I forget to follow up on that proposal. Nah? You've sent it. And you know that the closing date is probably like 2 weeks from now. And then I forget to go back and check 2 weeks from now because I'm busy on something else trying to chase the next sale. On Proposify, it will come up to say, hey, you sent you can put a date there as to when you want to follow up. And then it pops up to remind you to say, hey, please follow up on that. A lot of us are probably losing 40% of our businesses just by not being able to follow up. That's sales. That's gone. I just want to pick out stuff that really, really helps. Okay, Payflex. There's one there that I wrote on Payflex. It works very well if you're selling online. It allows people to pay off in installments. So as Namali can no longer be an excuse. You know, I can offer you stuff in installments. It is great also there's also apps that allow you to run a Stockfell type of model. So there's one called Layup. It's not on this list, but Layup also allows you to create a Stockfell type of model in the background. So if you're selling products that are too high-end or too expensive and people want to buy in groups, you can afford them that opportunity. Yeah, I think I've highlighted the ones that I really think should be standing out. I think one last one is Calendly. Calendly allows you to basically publish your appointment, your calendar, online. And when people want to do a meeting, you know, where you're like, are you available tomorrow? No, I'm not. I'm available Wednesday. And then you wait, no, Wednesday is not working for you. Okay, maybe Friday. Okay, and you keep going that backwards and forwards. Now you expose your calendar and somebody can just say, oh, she's available at 1 o'clock on Thursday. Book the appointment, I get the email, move on with my life. We don't have to do that backwards and forwards, right? Other than that, I'm done. I don't know if there's any questions. We have a session for questions. Okay, cool. Then that's me.
Thank you so much. No, you can go. Sure. Okay. All right, let's put our hands together one more time. Marang. Powerful, practical. Yeah. You know, last time she gave a presentation and there were no questions. That's how good she was. We have a gift for you. Please come to the front. Once again, these are products from, if you've just joined us and you're wondering why am I showing these products, because these are products, entrepreneurs, local entrepreneurs, Bala, Khayelitsha, who are selling these products and they are exhibiting. So we are buying from them a hair solution oil, the ultimate hair food. Yeah, this is amazing, man. Wow. Emakosini. Bantu something body steam streaming yo. Yeah, hey, all the best. Yeah. So this is for you to say thank you so much for believing in our vision, for being part of the family, and for impacting our entrepreneurs in Khayelitsha. Please can we give one more time a round of applause for Marang Marekimane.
There's actually someone that you guys had, I think maybe a year ago, I might be wrong, even 2 years ago. I think it was even here in Khayelitsha. She was making bath salts, body scrubs. I still buy from her today, and she's still like, oh, I can't believe you still buy from me from Join Us for Tea. And there's quite a lot of products that you guys have given me that I still buy from them today. So good job.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. That's what it's about, right?